Sharpness recently infiltrated and completely griefed a content creator SMP, and it caught the attention of a lot of people in the Minecraft community. Between the strange allegations that appeared after the event, the manipulation and puppeteering of the SMP's owner, and the mixed feelings concerning the situation from the public eye, there's no shortage of topics to discuss concerning the videos that Sharpness and his friend Itzowo made. But in my opinion, the most important question of all is, how did we even get here in the first place? Hi everyone, it's been a little while since I've uploaded on YouTube.com. Sorry for abandoning you guys, I've been pretty busy at college, doing so much alcohol and drugs and getting beat up by frat boys every single day. Now that I'm actually in college, I can officially say that I didn't expect typical college life to consist of so much murder, specifically needing to murder every other person named Grant that attends the same college as I do. Man, I thought Grant was a pretty rare name, but these bodies are really starting to add up. I still don't have my gaming PC with me, so I can't record any gameplay, but that doesn't mean I can't steal my friend's gameplay. The gameplay you're watching right now is actually 3 letters, so thanks to 3 letter for letting me borrow his competitive bridge footage, since I can't use my own. Now, I'm sure you've seen this topic floating around recently because quite a few other YouTubers have been talking about it, but in this video, I wanted to try and talk about a lot of the aspects of the situation that no one else seems to be talking about. This video is obviously different from what I normally upload, but I have a lot to say, so I made the video anyway. Underscore granted, shouldn't you be sticking to funny moments videos? Stay in your lane, idiot. Shut up. I promise I have another epic funny moments video in the works, and that'll be out soon. But enough about me. I wanted to talk to you guys today about a pretty interesting story that recently caught my eye in the Minecraft content creation space. If you've already seen Sharpness's video, or if you're already familiar with the situation I'm referring to because you watched another YouTuber's video about it, then feel free to go ahead and skip to this timestamp, where I talk about a lot of new stuff that I'm willing to bet you haven't heard anyone else talk about yet. If you're not familiar with the situation, this part of the video will talk about it in detail, so shut up and just listen for a minute, okay? I'm trying to make a video here. God. One day in mid-October, I was scrolling through Twitter as I usually do, my eyeballs glued to my phone screen, and I came across this tweet from the Lagoon SMP. Itzowo and Sharpness/Connexion have been removed from the Lagoon SMP due to harassing members, making inappropriate comments to minors, and exploiting the server. The thread below will show anonymous statements as well as evidence of their exploits. It will also be updated over time. We'll discuss the rest of this thread later, but at the time I only read the first part of the tweet and then realized I wasn't really familiar with Sharpness or Itzowo or the Lagoon SMP. And so I scrolled onward without reading anything else. Sorry guys, you gotta remember here that I have a stupid little Neanderthal brain, and I need constant simulation for my phone in order to survive, so if a thread doesn't pique my interest, I'm probably not gonna stick around. Anyways, fast forward to around 2 weeks later, and a video from Sharpness pops up in my YouTube recommended. I joined a girls-only Minecraft SMP. I hadn't really watched an SMP-related video in a long time, but I remembered seeing Sharpness as the subject of that Twitter thread from a while ago, so I thought to myself, why not? And I watched it, so now you have to watch it too. Before we dive into the video, however, we need to understand who Sharpness and Itzowo are. Sharpness is a Minecraft YouTuber with enough subscribers to make me really jealous. He originally started his content creation journey with PvP shorts, kind of similar to Rice Farmer 11 or Mine Manor, and then slowly made the transition over to long-form SMP content. Itzowo, on the other hand, doesn't seem to usually make SMP content at all. In fact, the Lagoon SMP video that he made is only the second SMP-related video on his channel so far. I guess he just couldn't pass up a good video opportunity, especially when e-girls are involved. Am I right, guys? I'll introduce more people as we go, but for now, let's take a look at Sharpness's video. I joined a girls-only Minecraft SMP. The video starts with him explaining to us how he got on the server, because his friend, Itzowo, needed a wingman.
So it all began when I received a DM from my friend Itzowo asking me to be his wingman on this e-girl Minecraft SMP.
Immediately after he joins, a couple of staff members, Pika and Amility, show Sharpness around select parts of the server. And we learned here that these same staff members are gathering the heads of every single player on the SMP. Naturally, Sharpness suspects that they're going to try and go for his head at some point, and so he makes the decision that
if they ever kill me and get my head, then we will stop following the rules.
He then buys some armor pieces from one of the server shops, and then takes the money back while the staff members aren't looking.
Take the money, take the money, take the money.
Oh, he's checking now.
Oh,
I'm gonna
he's
just leave
looking,
it.
he's
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take the money now.
Stop! You violated the law.
But, plot twist, the armor that he stole has binding on it, so he needs someone to kill him in order to get the armor off. One of the staff members does so, and he picks up Sharpness's head in the process.
Alright, cool.
Yo, this guy has your head now.
You have my head?
Possibly.
You have to throw it right now. I did not.
He has two of them.
You have two. You have
He
two
killed
of
you.
them. You killed me twice. You killed me twice.
No, they don't drop every time.
Yes, they do.
No.
Yes, they do.
It's here that Sharpness decides that he's done following the rules, and he wants to kill the staff members involved in stealing his head, but Oo explains to him that he can't.
They're gonna ban us if we kill them
Dude,
already.
what?
The staff, bro, the staff.
I know, but dude, they got my head.
I like to think this is where Sharpness has his Joker moment.
The world is a mess. The world is as angry as it gets.
He's not sure how or when, but he makes the decision that he's going to take revenge on the server for obtaining his head in a scummy way.
This whole fucking spawn is gonna go boom boom. Just because of this, because they're fucking greedy for head.
Once Sharpness and Oo get back to spawn, Sharpness receives a DM from Lazy's, the owner of the Lagoon SMP. We're going to talk a lot more about Lazy's later in the video, but for now, all you need to know is that she's the server's owner. Lazy's used one of the server plugins to figure out Sharpness's theft of the armor from earlier, and basically tells him that if he steals again, he'll be kicked immediately. So what does our dynamic duo decide to do next? Steal something. More specifically, they decide to try and steal the server's dragon egg, because sure, that'll go completely unnoticed.
It's here, it's here, it's here.
Wait,
Oh my,
what?
oh my god.
What? No
Oh
way.
my god, oh 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 my god.
And the staff notice immediately, because of course they do. Oo and Sharpness both got the Dragon Egg achievement, so they basically sounded the alarm that they stole something right after Lazy told them she would ban them if they stole again. Anyways, they end up in a PvP encounter with the two staff members who were responsible for stealing Sharpness's head. And they kill Pika and almost kill Emility, but she teleports away. I think it's important to note here that Sharpness and Oo didn't actually start this fight. They did steal the Dragon Egg and mess around with it for a little while, but the staff members initiated the actual combat if you pay close attention, which by the way goes against their own rules, as Sharpness indicates. After this whole encounter, the staff members get Lazy's involved, and it seems like she's going to ban them, but they make it seem like stealing the Dragon Egg was an accident, so they're off the hook for now. They take a break from stealing and decide to try and meet new people on the server, and Oo tries to, become a simp, I think, and, protect some of the female members from Sharpness. I'm still not really sure why they did this, but that's what they did. Oo turns on Sharpness and kills him multiple times, and the two of them have some interesting interactions with other members of the server in the process.
Are you being disrespectful because I'm a woman?
What?
So now Sharpness wants to take revenge on Oo, or to be more specific, he decided to show him his Sigma powers. That's a real voiceover line, he said.
I decided to show him my Sigma powers.
Listen, guys, I know he's just joking, but even as a joke, it sounds so cringe. How am I supposed to react to that?
We gotta turn into a Sigma real quick and take him down.
Moving on, Sharpness gets more gear with the help of another member of the server, and he takes his revenge on its Oo. Emility, one of the staff members mentioned earlier, steals Oo's head in the aftermath of the fight, yet again in an illegitimate way. So Sharpness and Oo decide to stop fighting each other and team back up again in order to continue with their original goal of destroying the server. In the meantime, Lazy's appears again, and she basically gives them the same spiel that she gives them every time they get in trouble. Hey, you're on thin ice here, buddy. Okay, but also, fuck you. But she also tells Sharpness that he needs to make sure that whoever he interacts with on the server knows that he's recording. So he convinces Lazy's to add a plugin that people on the server can turn on whenever they're recording. But plot twist, he adds another command to the plugin, which would essentially give him an Oo up on the server. Can you see where this is going, guys? They wait for a couple of weeks and Lazy's doesn't add the plugin, so they talk to Emility and convince her to message Lazy's and ask her to add the plugin, which Lazy's then does. And then Emility logs off. You know what Sharpness and Oo do next? You might be surprised by this, but they actually do nothing. They happily go about the server, minding their own business, hanging out and enjoying everything it has to offer, and then the video ends. Just kidding.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, what are you doing, bro?
They blow up pretty much the entirety of Spawn, stop all server commands by locking the server's console, delete server files, and then they whitelist the server so that people in Sharpness's Discord server can join it. The server eventually crashes, and the two of them get in a group call with Amility and Lazy's, who are obviously very upset about the fact that Sharpness and Owo just obliterated their server, and Lazy says this.
No, what you've done is you've given me a scammy fucking plugin to put in my server that you really, really wanted, and then what you've done is you've completely whitelisted all your friends, leaked the IP, give yourself up, and blown up the whole server because you guys are fucking no-life dickheads.
And the video ends with this clip. I didn't edit that. That's actually how his video ends. It's pretty abrupt, but fitting. I could go for some coffee right now. So I already showed you the introduction to the thread, but here's what we'll be seeing going forward. Anonymous statements from members of the Lagoon SMP, as well as evidence of Sharpness and its Owo's exploits. I mean, we don't really need to see that much evidence because, you know.
Oh my god. Oh my god, what are you doing, bro?
But we'll go over it anyway. It's also important to note here that because the anonymous statements are mostly just allegations and not backed up by any proof or anything, we should take them with a grain of salt. Harassing a member with inappropriate comments and suicide jokes. This statement I'm actually going to read in full so that we can understand what exactly they're saying. A few days ago, Sharpness came up to me while I was at my base. He was being incredibly pushy and quite invasive. He kept asking to move in. I repeatedly told him no, but he wouldn't leave nor listen. Soon, Owo showed up, and the two started calling me his girlfriend. I repeatedly told him it made me extremely uncomfortable and asked for the two to stop. The two said they were just joking around, but they didn't stop, so I logged out of the server for the day shortly after. It wasn't a one-time thing. A few days after the initial event, the two showed up to my base once more. They continued with the girlfriend harassing, and when I lined it out for Sharpness that he was being a jerk and needed to stop, he made me feel guilty about the situation with the "you hurt my feelings, now I'm going to kill myself" tactic. I reached out to one of the service staff for help with the situation. I later found out that Sharpness was over 20. It makes me sick to think the two did so while they both knew that I was a minor. The phrase inappropriateness with minors is thrown around all too much these days. I mean, Owo himself is also a minor, so he's completely off the hook here, but if Sharpness actually did what this statement claims, there's a much more serious conversation to be had. Owo and Sharpness used an exploited plugin to gain access to the server. They used this to give themselves up, delete server files, turn off whitelist to invite anyone, and destroy players' builds. Here's screenshots of him doing that. Of course, we all know this happened already because we just saw it, but yeah. Owo exploited the server by lying about a plugin's features. He exploited his year-long friendship with the owner to send her a plugin. He told her it was for recording when it actually helped them to exploit the server. Same old, same old. The posts in the rest of this thread will be anonymous statements from SMP members about their experiences with Owo and Sharpness. This part of the thread is a lot of writing, like a lot of writing, and as much as I'd love to sit here for 20 minutes and read all of it to you, you would probably fall asleep and then click off the video. So I did my best to summarize it for you, but a lot of these screenshots share a similar sentiment. Amility basically just recaps a lot of stuff from Sharpness's video with a bit more bias against him since, you know, she's a mod on the server he destroyed. We had some people that just found Sharpness and Owo's mere presence uncomfortable and felt like they needed to log off of the server whenever the two would attempt to get near them. Some said that after the two killed other members of the server, they would keep the loot to themselves and not give it back unless staff got involved. One person says that they told the two something very personal about them, and then in response they tried to use that personal information in a video in order to gain more views. Another person says that Sharpness just straight up attacked them with no warning and popped one of their totems and almost killed them. Apart from the first screenshot I showed earlier, these all just seem like weird allegations that just kind of exist in the thread. They're only statements, and these people have no video or audio recordings to back up what they're saying, unlike Sharpness and Owo. You see, because Sharpness and Owo were making videos about all of this, they actually have evidence to back themselves up. Let me show you what I mean. Recently, another YouTuber by the name of Phone? I don't know if I'm saying that right, I'm sorry. Phone made a video about the same situation, and he actually had an interview with its Owo in which Owo completely debunked one of the statements made by a Lagoon SMP member.
I was working on a large watermelon farm. I tried to hide. Okay, so they didn't try to hide. They were standing on top of it.
He's over here.
For this was him.
Get on the head so I can take you. Oh shit.
Hi. They spotted me on top of my melon farm and began to force themselves into a conversation with me. I can't read this IGN. What the fuck was that, bro?
Buddy, you have some explaining
Hello,
to do.
pussy!
You have some explaining to do.
They were asking me rapid-fire questions quite rudely, and I had heard from private conversations with staff that they were planning to record a video or two on the SMP to help out the SMP. I assume they were recording.
Why did you build all of this?
Because I'm playing the game.
So they assumed we were recording. I very vocally stated, hey, I don't feel comfortable being recorded. Please stop asking me questions and leave me alone right now, multiple times.
What game?
I'm not humorless.
What?
What?
Did I say?
That's all not true. Wait.
Say that, then they got angrier, and with the previous knowledge of them killing Nirifine for not answering their questions, when Sharp drew a sword on me, I flew away. Because I had very important redstone equipment on my character that I didn't have enough energy to regather if they did manage to kill me. So you see he's holding cobblestone here, let me read this. I think it was out for 0.5 seconds. 500 milliseconds the sword was out for.
Not only is this person completely exaggerating the truth, they're just straight up lying to perpetuate the narrative that OO and Sharpness make everyone feel uncomfortable and they always cause trouble wherever they go. And it seems like this isn't the only scenario where anonymous statements partially or fully exaggerate the truth.
But we went through, like, me and Sharpness were in VC one day, and we just went through the screenshots and just compared them to the clips we had. And a lot of them just lie.
Who knows how many of these statements have been fabricated to make Sharpness and OO look worse than they actually are. I'll put a link to Foena's video in the description if you want to watch the rest of it. It's very well made. Alright, that's enough about the thread itself. Now I want to talk about a couple more things that are just really bugging me about this whole situation. A Twitter user by the name of Risa Stindl made this tweet concerning Sharpness's video. It's kind of like those green text memes. You guys know what I'm talking about? Anyway, joins a girls-only Minecraft server, breaks the rules, kills players for no reason, is weird to the players, calls staff Karen. I have to ask for recording consent? Pretty hilarious. Sneaks a backdoor into the server for griefing. I decided to show my Sigma powers. Okay, see, I'm not the only one who thought that line was cringe as hell. Okay, good. Nonetheless, there's a lot to unpack here, so I'm gonna talk about each of these points one by one, because all of these have a lot of discussion attached to them. Joins a girls-only Minecraft server. You can tell when you watch Sharpness's video that this is, in fact, not a girls-only SMP. He just used that title to grab the attention of his viewers, so we'll give that one a pass. Is weird to the players. We're not sure how weird they act off camera, but on camera, I wouldn't say they act normal. Like, It's OO also made a video about the Lagoon SMP, and while it was a little more focused on him getting an e-girl to date, it covered pretty much the same events as Sharpness's video, which is why I haven't really talked about it yet. But there's this one part of the video where he's like pretending to kiss some of the other members of the server.
Hi, my love. Mwah.
Mwah.
Yeah, what? Oh,
That's definitely not a normal thing to do. Like, yes, he is a minor, and I'm assuming he thought it was good content, but even if the other members are okay with that, what did you think that clip would accomplish? How does that make your video better? Just because I make out with all my homies every day doesn't mean I should upload that to YouTube, although it would be a good way for me to start regularly uploading again. Regardless, I think it's safe to say that the duo doesn't act completely normal, at least throughout their videos. Calls staff Karen. Yeah, I thought this was completely unnecessary. I can understand why you wanted to call lazies a Karen, but take a look at this clip from Sharpness's video.
Then use the live thing so people know that you're recording.
being
Okay,
live is a
okay.
different thing than recording for a video.
Sharpness, shut up.
Ability being a Karen is really just her getting slightly annoyed and then telling Sharpness to shut up. She's not even being loud. The Karen term was just kind of misused in this video from time to time. I have to ask for recording consent? Pretty hilarious. Okay, I can kind of understand why he's upset about this, but dude, it's a content creator SMP. If you're a member of this server and you're completely surrounded by content creators, why would you expect them to not record their experience? That's what content creators do. I'm gonna group these three into one topic because they're pretty much all arguing that Sharpness shouldn't have broken the rules of the server. And Senkai gave him a pretty interesting reply on that front. Let me read it for you. The fact that SMPs are life or death to y'all is fucking insane. Brother, go outside, experience the wonders of life. It's an SMP. If someone breaks the rules, boo fucking who. That's what makes good content. And while he is acting a little dismissive here, he's got a pretty good point. Not with him telling everyone to touch grass, I meant the last part. Because the Lagoon SMP is a content creator SMP, one of its main goals should be to tell a story. And in order for people to be drawn to the story that you're telling, it needs to have conflict, because if not, the story ends up being completely boring. There's no way around that. This is what makes servers that do condone PvP and even encourage it so entertaining and unique in their own way. When Dream first made the Dream SMP, it was originally set out to just be a relaxing server for him and his close friends to hang out in. And then Tommy Innit joined and started drop-kicking everyone in the server, essentially destroying the peace and tranquility that Dream was trying to create. But instead of banning Tommy and just going back to the way things were, he decided that that element of chaos was exactly what the server needed to make it more fun and entertaining. And because Dream embraced the change and allowed Tommy to continue playing, the Dream SMP eventually blossomed into the most popular SMP of all time. Now, I'm not saying that Lazy shouldn't have banned Sharpness and OO following everything they did. After all, there's a big difference between killing George Not Found and obtaining op and blowing up the server, but it's definitely something to think about. Another example of this is the Anarchy server genre. Anarchy servers like 2B2T are so unique and entertaining in the way that they play out because of the understanding going into the server that not only is PvP allowed, but literally everything else is allowed also, including straight up hacking. People on 2B2T don't tend to get super upset when they get killed by a random player using kill aura and 17 blocks of reach, because for them, that's not an insane breach of the rules, that's just Tuesday. An average day in Britain, if you will. And there are so many other examples of Minecraft content creation over the years that are completely driven by conflict. Stampy's Lovely World, Minecraft Monday, SMP Live, Minecraft Manhunt, MCC, Dan TDM and his questionable sidekick, Dr. Homophobic.
Dr. Trayaurus! What are you doing? What? I told you not to be homophobic today!
Hell, even the Minecraft music videos always had some sort of conflict in them, and a lot of these still hold up to this day. At least, they do for me. If the Lagoon SMP is specifically for content creators, then why is Sharpness's video the first I've heard of any kind of content produced there? I'm not saying it needs to be the next lifesteal where everyone is constantly backstabbing and trapping each other and conflict is created out of thin air, but there's definitely an argument to be made that by introducing so much conflict into the server at once, Sharpness and its OO made the Lagoon SMP more entertaining. And if you're still thinking about all the physical damage they caused, don't worry. The server had backups, so everything eventually went back to normal. When I told you that the Twitter thread was the first I had heard of the Lagoon SMP, I wasn't telling you the whole truth. About a month before the Lagoon SMP Twitter thread, one of my good friends, Flame, joined the Lagoon SMP. He and its OO decided to make a video together on the server, based on them fighting each other and engaging in PvP, but it was mainly just for jokes. They were just having a good time and messing around. Eventually, OO had taken all of Flame's stuff after killing him, so in retaliation, Flame killed one of OO's dogs. OO said something along the lines of, "I did not consent to you doing this." And although he was joking at the time, other members of the server reported the action to Lazy's, and as a result, she banned Flame instantly. This is completely inconsistent with the way she treated Sharpness and its OO. In their case, she gave Sharpness and OO multiple warnings throughout a few weeks, and the warnings were a result of them killing other members and griefing other players' builds. Flame was instantly banned, was forced to write a full apology on Twitter for killing a Minecraft dog in order to be readmitted, and then Lazy's just denied him from re-entering the server anyways. And the worst part about all of this is that Flame didn't break any of the server's rules. The rule against killing pets was made after Flame was banned, so they basically just kicked him out without proper justification. My original goal with this video was to present both sides of the dilemma to you, and then give you free reign to make your own decision about the case. But stuff like this that pops up with the staff being dismissive and quick to judgment, and completely arbitrary in the way that they handle punishment, among other things, makes it harder and harder for me to stay neutral. Remember when I talked about its OO's video? Well, at the end of it, there's this clip from the call with Lazy's and Amility that we don't actually see in Sharpness's video, and I'll go ahead and play that clip for you now.
Because what I find funny is you can do this on any server that involves griefing and stealing, but you don't even do this shit. But for my server that purposely has the no griefing shit, you purposely go around and do this. No, tell me, why the fuck have you done this? Why on earth do you feel the need to do this to me? Like, generally, tell me, why do you feel the need to do this to me? Like, generally, what have I actually ever done to you?
Owo makes this mini expose of Lazy's that states how she asks for free stuff all the time, wanted him to leak the DMs of one of his friends, pushes him to lie to other creators. And he also shows some stuff that she's done to other people, like underpaying and stressing out her editors, guilt-tripping people, botting a giveaway in order to win it. The list goes on, and at the very end he shares the following statement. Lazy's is a horrible person. And for all the Twitter nerds, we did not only grief the server because they were breaking their own server rules like killing, stealing our heads, etc. It was because we were informed of what Lazy's had been doing over the years. We also had full shell access to the server and could have deleted backups and destroyed it even more. All we did was blow up TNT at spawn and troll people who were clearly willing to play along for the video as shown in the previous clips. Can you see where this is going? In case you haven't figured it out quite yet, here's another clip from Fowena's interview with Owo.
This is how we got the idea to grief the SMP, right? Me, Sharpness, and a bunch of MMC creators are in a group chat.
Yeah.
And me and Sharpness are talking about joining her server for a video. And then Jonah mentioned that Lazy's was like a weird person. And then we started talking about it, looking into it, and then we slowly found more and more stuff. And then I realized, oh yeah, she's kind of done that to me as well. And that's when we were like, okay, we should grief the video. It'll be funny. Well, grief this SMP. It'll be funny. And that's kind of when we got the idea. And then after the tweet got released, a lot of people came like forward and started showing us like a bunch of different stuff, like Lazy's underpaying editors and all of that stuff. So we thought, well, she tried to expose us for something that we didn't really do. We might as well show like what type of person she is.
This explains why Sharpness and Owo made their videos in the first place. It explains why I'm talking about them right now. Yes, Sharpness and Owo caused a little bit of damage, but at the end of the day, they were really just fighting fire with fire. They didn't like Lazy's and didn't like all the shady things she had done over the years, so they decided to deal some damage to Lazy's server, most of which was not permanent, and get some content out of it, as well as show the public the type of person that Lazy's is. Not the best type of conflict resolution, but they still achieved their goal. In the past few days since then, Lazy's has been doxxed, and the Lagoon SMP has pretty much been completely taken over by hackers. This is obviously not what we YouTubers want when we make videos that put people in a negative light, but unfortunately it's just a common side effect. Now, Lazy's doesn't feel comfortable in her own home anymore. Yeah, she might not be the greatest person in the world, but at the end of the day, she's just a human being. Just like you and me. And spreading hate of any kind around the internet, let alone endangering people, really just isn't worth anyone's time. Apparently, Blissolic, another YouTuber covering the situation, is in contact with the people who doxed Lazy's, and he's trying to resolve the situation as fast as he can. So I have hope that we can just put all of this behind us and move on to making Hoplite videos. Okay, and that's it. That's all I have to say about the Sharpness Dilemma. Thank you so much for watching. I spent so much time working on this video, you wouldn't even believe it, so I really appreciate you watching through the whole thing. All sources I mentioned throughout this video will be linked in the description if you want to go check them out for yourself, along with some sources that I didn't mention in the video but I still found very helpful, like videos from Jonah and Swoop. If you think I missed anything regarding the situation, feel free to let me know in the comments. Lastly, please consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video. It's free, and you can always change your mind later if you want to. I'll see you later.